fatal heart impacts, past painful scars. In fact, I blast tasteful bars and pass. I back up my actions, fact don't ask, grab reactions, jacked attack with every word, then act with class as they hear me snap. I got nothing to lose, cause I fought and felt the bruise. Now I'm not the one confused, call the shots and they produce. I ain't lost, I'm finally loose, pick a new silver excuse. I need the views to boost me to a new abuse of being used. Everybody wants a piece now, y'all can rest in peace now. You're dead to me, so peace out. Remember, you're discreet now. Get ready for defeat now.
Alrighty. Hello everybody. This is Kirusho here. And now, whenever we last left off with this series, we had Deku and Rumi, or Mirako. Now, in the last part, Deku's lab was broken into. Yaoyorozu used a specialized keycard to get into the facility Deku was currently working at. Because of her trying to study for UA and get into her school of choice, she ended up getting involved in a bit of a break-in, being used as a hostage before being tossed aside. Where the people got access to Deku's lab, they then destroyed parts of it and stole 4 different items from him. Now, Ryuko the Dragon Hero was there earlier that morning to talk to Deku about exactly his relationship with Mirako. Since from what she did hear, or at least hear from Mirako, this guy is a lot like her, only with a brain. If that makes more sense. Now, she was put into a coma, and Deku, he himself did suffer from some injuries, having a broken arm, a concussion, and at least a few bruises all over his body. Now, with that being said, Deku invited Mirako to at least have dinner with him, since he believes that he'll be the target once more again. Now, she did actually accept this offer, knowing that Deku is in danger. However, she did still feel bad about leaving her friend in a coma at the hospital. Now, we do actually have Deku, who he would have cooked dinner and at least had it with Mirako. The Hero Association, the police, and even some people from Mr. Yaoyorozu's company arriving during the night and trying to talk to Deku. Deku has given his report as much as he can to the police, and the Hero Association, they were going to be assigning somebody to Deku to watch and protect him. Since within the past month, this is the second attack on him personally. And yeah, Deku's had to at least give the list of items that were stolen from him. However, it was very surprising how small this list was, and the heroes were very surprised by it. However, Deku, he did inform them that these devices are all very dangerous, if handled improperly. Now, Mirako, she actually would have watched Deku scream at the heroes, and basically tell them this would be their top priority. Now, you did actually have where later that day, a few men in suits would arrive to talk to Deku. And yeah, Mr. Yaoyorozu himself has come to apologize for his daughter's actions. As Mirako, she does just sit there with Deku. Deku at least going to hold up his arm in his cast and lean his right arm onto his knee. As Mr. Yaoyorozu does also see that Deku does have bandages covering his head and at least some blotches of bruises all over his body. Mr. Bakugo, I'm very sorry for my daughter's actions. Mr. Yaoyorozu, a simple phone call would have been all that I would have needed. I understand that. However, there is more to that as to why I'm here. I see. So I should have known this wasn't just that. Yes, I'm sorry to disturb you and your lovely wife. We're actually not married, nor are we dating. Oh, then who is... I am actually a pro hero here to look after him. Yes, Mr. Yaoyorozu, this is the pro hero that actually saved my first prototype that you've invested in. Oh, well, that's interesting. But what we're going to be talking about is classified. Mr. Yaoyorozu, I've already made her well aware as to what was taken. She was here when the police took the report along with the heroes. If you were to say anything in front of me, you're going to have to say it in front of her as well. Is that crystal clear? Along with that, your apology, I will accept it. However, I would also like that card destroyed. My lab is not some place you can simply waltz into by yourself, nor can you inspect. Half the inventions in that building alone could probably take out this entire city, or level a city block, if you simply pick it up and drop it. Mr. Yaoyorozu, I do not mean to be rude, I am simply being careful. Along with that, I'm going to draw plans to create a specialized facility, or a vault under my lab that only I will have access to put stuff inside. I should have taken that precaution earlier. The lab would have been done later, yes, but I realize now I'm still going to be the victim of these attacks. Along with that, I'm going to need to have that building made and actually build something to protect it. Yes, I understand, Mr. Bakugo, but what, Mr. Yaoyorozu? Would you like my inventions to get out there under the, well, corporation name? Would you like them to ruin your business and actually destroy your business model? Less investors, less money, you lose profits. A lot of bad things can happen from there. You will end up dirt poor, and I will end up with the money you still left me. In my hands, in custody, along with even my lab. As far as I see it, they would blame the corporation, not the inventor. I will have bad press, yes, but even then, my gear will still be made, manufactured, and sold to many other companies. So, do you understand exactly why you yourself should be invested in this? Why you yourself should be careful with every single word and detail I put down? Yes, I see that now. Now, Mirko is looking at Deku. Deku, he's genuinely pissed. He's trying to take these precautions now after it already happened? Alright. Well, please, if you would tell me the inventions that were taken. Okay. I invented a specialized gun. It actually isn't one that fires traditional ammo, nor does it hold it, actually. Theoretically, this blaster, if you want to give it that classification, it's very powerful. From my experiment with it previously, it is capable of not only disintegration on a small scale, but even destroying a building. Why would you invent something like this? Well, at first it was meant to be a stun gun, and the capabilities of it were supposed to be able to go up in levels. However, I see that my power source, it actually is too effective. I'm currently trying to work on making it less so. I was going to get around to it, but I got busy with your project, the cybernetics. Or, well, yes, cybernetic limbs. Oh, and this battery you speak of, I've never heard of it. That's because I have not revealed it to the public yet. In fact, it's also what was stolen, the blueprints to it. The blueprints, they themselves are very, very, very vital, since they're the most dangerous out of the lot. Really, yes, the battery itself, I've left out a few things. In the blueprints, there's at least 2 or 3 different things I did not add. And that is because I found them out later. I figured it out, but the battery itself, imagine it as a tiny cube that would fit on your thumb. It wouldn't go past the lining where you bend your thumb. It is capable of powering, well, what's the best way to put it? Hmm. It would be capable of powering your mega corporation, the one you have in Japan, for about, hmm, 1 month, nonstop. 1 month? And it's a cube that small. Yes, Mr. Yaoyorozu. That's exactly why it's so dangerous. I wanted to reveal this power source whenever I found a way to even out the problems with it. After I did that, I decided to backtrack it, since there's only a limited number I do have in my own possession, one of which is currently being used to power this entire apartment building. What? Yeah, I bought this building shortly after I gained your money. And I myself figured that I can use my invention to help. This is a test run, and this building's been running on it for about 2 weeks ever since. Really? Yes. And then there's invention number three. It's actually, well, how should I put it? A bit of irony. I was inventing something that would be able to work on the trash problem in our country, even along the entire planet. If you could basically call it going green to save our species. I know in the long run, our species themselves, we have problem with keeping things tidy. In fact, I myself am a bit messy, I will admit. So I used my project to clean my house for some time. There are nanites that are programmed to eat trash, and even really break it down to the microscopic level, to the point where even a vacuum could collect it and it could just be like dust. What? Yeah. However, there is a bit of a problem. I shelved the project whenever I accidentally dropped some meat on the ground. And they broke it down within 5 seconds. I'm sorry. What? Theoretically, that project could kill a person within the span of 32 seconds. The meat was around the size of my hand, if you don't want to put it that way. It was actually a stack of beef ribs, and one of them fell. That is a horrifying thought. I understand. And my last project was actually going to be used in a construction project I was going to line up sometime soon. It was actually one I thought was ready, and it's actually why it's pretty dangerous. This project, it would help with demolition. And, well, it actually is a bit harder to explain. This project that was stolen, it's actually one you may have heard of. Hmm? May have heard of? Yes, actually. I've seen it before in fiction. However, I believe making such a device was possible. And it is actually possible since I created it. It's a gun that can reverse or even completely nullify the effects of gravity on a creation, or anything it really does come into contact with. I'm sorry, are you saying what I think you're saying? Yes, I've nicknamed it the gravity gun. A gravity gun. Yes, actually. Its primary use is supposed to be construction work. However, it can make virtually anything weightless or just stand there motionless in the air if you do really wish it to. However, it's also dangerous in the fact that Switching gravity on something means it would go up. And it's basically you can go to space without the use of even really anything. In fact, that weapon, or even creation of mine, it's still relatively untested. I've used it on, at a maximum, 500 pounds before. 500 pounds? Yeah. I believe it to be a very good idea for technology. I've even recommended or thought about using it in spacecraft travel. The technology would be very interesting. However, remodeling it and shaping it for an engine would also be theoretically possible, and possibly even more effective. A jet engine that does not require fuel, but electricity. And really all it would need is my power source. And theoretically, we could travel through the stars. Mr. Bakugo, these inventions of yours, they make me question why you've invented some things that are simple. Because if I really wanted to, I could, Mr. Yaoyorozu, without any disrespect, create my own company and gain billions within just a few short years. That's not my wish, however, nor is it my goal. I wish to just take care of people, and really just provide useful things for everyone else. The money is a nice thing to have. Since growing up, we struggled with some, and we did have to cut corners. However, I am repaying my debts to the people who have given me everything I'm grateful for. Mr. Yaoyorozu. I see. Well, that will be all for today. I'm going to stand up and leave, as the bodyguards do also leave as well. Now, Deku, he does just sit there with Mirako, and she's very curious about these things, with how dangerous they are. One that could literally send a person to space in what, a second? Something like that? One that can eat people alive? One that can, well, blow up a city block as a bomb? And a gun that put her friend into a coma when she was the size, if not bigger than a semi-truck. This is all pretty bad. So, um, you created some pretty dangerous stuff. It wasn't intentional. Anything's dangerous when mishandled. Well, I can understand that. Can you? Yes, I can. However, you really shouldn't feel bad about yourself. Should I not? Yeah, okay. I'm sure my friend will wake up. She's tough, and I worry about her. I'm worried too. My inventions were never made to be used in warfare. That's why I don't make tanks, nor do I make bombs. The suit I used earlier was even my own creation. I've helped with it before, however. It's a power suit that would allow ease of movement. It could be used as a modern day forklift. It's rated at least, I believe, somewhere between 3 or 4 tons. However, I've avoided making suits like that for a reason. Really? If it was found that I could make a power suit that could lift a shipping container, and if it was found that these suits can run off of a battery that could power them for 100 years, and if it was found that my devices could also blow up city blocks, blow up a city, and knock out a pro hero, or potentially kill a pro hero such as All Might himself, I would be contracted to build weapons of war. My intention is not of that. Really? Yes. I'm not much of a fighter. However, whenever push comes to shove, I will stand and fight, even though I do not wish to. But you will fight anyways. You step in. You fight first and think later. It's a very respectful and admirable quality. Along with that, you trust your own instincts instead of questioning some like I do. Now, Deku just turned to Mirko, talking about how he's very sorry for what his inventions did do to her friend, and that he does wish that it wouldn't be harmful to what they are building. What we're building? Yes, trust in one another. I'm, well, not too good with talking to people. Neither am I. Oh, I see. To really be honest, this is all new for me. Really? Why? You're a good looking guy. Really? Well, it's just. I spent a lot of my youth working. Either my job to help my mom save money, or really just to buy food and pay our rent. Even just to let her enjoy her time off. I work hard because I've been instilled with that my whole life. Ever since I was very young, actually, I've just thought if we had more money, life would be easier. And really, it just doesn't seem like that right now. Right now, I'm making weapons, as it seems, and that's the one thing I wanted to avoid. I just don't know. I never had times for a relationship. I never thought about that. And right now, I'm still not too sure. I worked intensely. I studied, I made sure to do things. I'm qualified for probably about 10 PhDs, but I don't have at least half of them. 10 PhDs? Yeah. I learned as much as I can about the subjects, but I found that by cutting out getting them through colleges and stuff like that, I can save a few years on my plan. In fact, I had a 20-year plan, and I accomplished it in about 15. Oh, that's pretty impressive. Not really. Ever since I was 6 years old, I always thought about this. I've never really had a childhood. Looking back on it, I don't think I was ever really a teenager either. I dedicated all my time to this, and now I just don't know. I'm too smart for my own good sometimes. Now, Mirako, she does look at Deku. He looks like he's staring off into space. And she kinda doesn't know what he's talking about. Fight, fight, fight. That's all she's ever known. The troubled tiger bunny, who used to fight all the time back in high school, even in middle school, elementary, and probably even before then. Her fiery and fierce personality is what drove people off. And it's just something that she's always had to do. It's some sort of instinct within her body, within her mind. She can't just sit down and not sit there. And she kind of doesn't understand. In a way, because of her aggressive nature, her insane, explosive personality, she was never really friends with people. Nor did guys even really approach her. They just saw her as scary. But, well, it's sort of weird. You know, I think I understand there. Hmm? What do you mean? I never really dated anyone either. In fact, when we went to dinner, I was sort of just surprised. I spent probably about an hour searching through my closet. It's funny, that dress I borrowed was actually Riko's. It's still over at my house. Is it? Yeah, I don't know. But it's just surprising to meet someone who's not scared, see me as violent or annoying, or really even just scary and loud. Is it? Yeah, you're unique. And so are you, Rumi. Now, Mirako, she actually just stared at Deku. Whenever he actually has at least someone glance over to her and give her a bit of a side smile. Well, after today, I feel like I need a bit of a drink. Deku gonna stand up and walk over to the kitchen. Now, Mirako, she actually has stand up herself to follow Deku, as you can tell that his movements are a little bit surprising and a little bit more confusing. He's still a little bit wobbly. So, are you gonna be alright? Hmm? Yeah, it's just, I feel slower than normal. I'm guessing that's because of my Deku saying a part of his brain is currently damaged. Along with even parts of his body, they themselves will heal in a few days, if not a couple weeks. So, you really think you should be drinking? I'll be fine. It all happened about 6 hours ago. Or, what was it? 7, 8 actually? I forgot what time it is right now. But, even then, I should be okay to at least have one or two drinks. Now, Mirako does watch Deku turn around and go to actually open his freezer. Him going to grab a bottle and pull it out. Him turning around and at least going to open the bottle and pour some drinks in. Or pour at least alcohol inside. Her then actually watching as Deku is going to turn around and go to grab something. Now, she's very confused. Whenever Deku does pull something out of his refrigerator and actually go to open up the top of it. Him going to reach inside and pull out a circular ice cube. Him setting it inside the glass and then actually going to grab another ice cube and setting it inside of another glass. Her kind of confused, watching Deku go to pour the alcohol on top of the ice cube. It's the size of a jawbreaker. What is that? The ice melts slower because of the shape. Oh, really? Yeah. Also, this bottle here, it's fairly expensive, but it's still at a good price. Sure, cheaper alcohol is nice, but this has a certain taste. It's not flashy or pricey, yeah, but it's pretty good. Now, Deku does see the brand name of it. America, she talks about how that alcohol would cost at least one and or at least half of her paycheck. Oh, yeah, I know. I keep hearing reviews about it, so I bought it. And I've kind of just barely sipped on it. Really. Now, the two do sit down in the kitchen, and they just talk. The one or two drinks turning into another few, and another. And well, we do actually have where Deku and Rumi, they do start to at least get a little bit closer to each other. And currently, they're still talking about the first date. Deku, he feels strange. He doesn't feel overthinking, he doesn't feel overbearing, he doesn't feel a certain way he always has. He can actually slow down for once. And it's weird. He knows that she might feel the same, but taking things slow here, it's nice. Now, we actually have where Deku and Rumi, they're both talking. And Mirako is actually talking about how Deku and her were walking through that park. Really? It was a nice walk. How'd you get home, though? I just jumped. Really? How did you? I drove. Well, not really, my car did. What? That's illegal. No, no. Self-driving car with a system inside. It basically moves on its own, and I'm not behind the wheel. I'm just a passenger now. Really? Yep. Why didn't you tell me that? Because it was easier for you to believe you had me wrapped around your little finger. Now, Deku does actually hold up his tiny finger. I just wiggle it in front of Mirako. Please. I did have you wrapped around my little finger. We're going to bring up our own. Really? Now, Mirako and Deku are actually pretty close. Both are leaning in forwards, and with their hands up. So, that's what you thought the whole time. You really didn't know anything. Oh, I knew a few things. Like for a fact that you tried to kiss me. Really? Deku actually looking at Mirako, and staring her down. She doesn't really know it, but her face is bright red, and she's trying to intimidate him. However, Mirako, she's actually on the same thought as Deku. His face is red, and, well, they're both just locking eye contact. Now, these two, yeah. They both have the same tactic right now. Try and see if they can make the other one pull away or flustered. However, it's not really working. And yeah, there is actually whenever Deku and her, they both do actually lean in for that kiss, seeing if one will pull away. However, there's actually whenever their lips do lock. And Mirako, she's actually very surprised, along with even Deku, as we actually have where a knock on the door does happen. Someone actually opening it up and coming to walk inside. Now, we do actually have Bakugo Katsuki, who, yeah, he wanted to check up on his big brother and see what was going on with him, as he does walk through the door and, well, go to stand there in the front. Him actually looking past some of the metal poles at the entrance and seeing Deku and a strange woman with, well, dark skin and white ears? Now, Bakugo did just stand there somewhat frozen, as he can tell that he should probably come back later. Since that woman is currently standing, Deku's sitting down at the stool, or on a stool, and she's got her arms locked behind his head on his shoulders. And well, yeah. He decided to just quietly try and make his exit. Now, with that being said, Deku and Mirako, they're both still somewhat frozen. They're not too sure how to proceed with this. And there actually was one where both of them did somewhat pull away for a second. And yeah, Deku's face flustered. Mirako's as well, both trying to hide it. As they continually tried to boast about how the other one, they really did not get the message about that. And yeah, they eventually just try again. And a bit of again. And there is actually whenever they don't pull away at all. And it's just them sitting there in the moment. Now, with that being said, I do hope you guys enjoyed. And have an amazing day. I'll catch you guys in the next part.